Good morning, everyone. Nice and early here. So here we are, bright and early, bushy-tailed, drinking some hot chocolate. Because it is actually a little cool this morning, sitting here on the balcony. That's the window right here that you can hear the bing bing bong, calling you to buy something off his bicycle. Usually stinky tofu, but I don't like that stuff. It's like durian as well. I don't like durian. Ugh, horrible stuff. But anyway, so here we are today, bright and early, bushy-tailed. Well, I have a little headache actually. Don't know why. I think maybe just a little stuffiness in the head. There's a lot of sort of flu virus going around, especially in the school kids. There's like, in my daughter's class, there's been half of them at least asking for half a day off, whatever, to go to the hospital to get some of their injections, whatever they do, you know. Nothing too serious, just but there is a lot of people. I think it's sort of well documented in China now over these last few weeks in particular that a lot of sort of these early teenagers have been coming down with this. And for some reason it seems to be more early teenagers rather than older people or younger people. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm just finishing off my hot chocolate here, and if anybody wants to let's have a look at this. That's me there. Make sure everything's okay. Let's have a look at this. Yep, and that seems to be running up and running on Twitch. So yeah, as I said, if anybody wants anything, just drop me a message. Let's get rid of this stuff. I helped somebody earlier this morning. Oh yeah, we're back on T4, so I can try and get my perfect amulet. I've been trying since day one. I absolutely... Wow! You see that? That's from the Opal vendor. No, next season if I get that, I'll be well happy. Unbelievable! Well. A melted heart of Selig from the Opal vendor. It's actually not the first I've got from the Opal vendor. I've had a couple now. But it is a bit rare. I mean, to say that's maybe two or three, I can't remember. This might be the third actually, from the Opal vendor in the season. But that's a huge, it's like was never dropping before, but now it's dropping. It's dropping. End of story. And if I got that next season, that would be a pretty awesome amulet to get. Because it's going to be a bit like the what is it, the on the for the Sork, one of the powers on the Sork, mana shield. That's it, mana shield on the Sork. So it's going to change, and it's going to be quite. It's still going to be quite defensive, like it should. That is the Melty Heart of Selig. It is a defensive amulet. But because of the like a mana shield type thing, anybody that generates mana or can get damage from mana, this is going to be a pretty good amulet to get. But like, wow. What's the rest of the stuff like? Lucky hit? Nah. Lightning resist? Nah. Movement speed? But yeah, it's quite good. Movement speed and single to defiance. Fire resist and a couple of Lockrans, and the rest are just nah. I'm still a little bit overwhelmed by this Melty Heart of Selig. It's like, wow. And there's only a couple of days of the season to go. Well, actually no, it's Thursday this time. So Thursday is the start of the next season, and it's a delayed start of the season till after the awards, Games Awards, which is on Thursday. So I think Pacific time it's 8:30, which means Eastern time, that's in the US, it's about midnight, 11:30, which means here in China it's sort of 12 hours, so it's that time in the morning. So for a change, I'll actually be able to start the season at pretty much the same time as everybody. Whereas everybody's going to have to run overnight, I'm actually going to be running during the day, which is quite different, because most times that, the season starts at sort of 12:30 or something like this, sort of in the morning. So for me, it's like I miss the first 8 hours or so of the season where everybody else is up and running. So now I'm actually at this. It's incredible. I'm at the same, or even because they'll be a bit tired at, having to do it through the night, and I'll be wide awake. Makes a difference. I like it. I think they should do this more often. But it's probably also, the China servers coming online as well. So we've got the China server coming online on the 12th. For me, the season starts on the 12th. For you, it's the 11th. For most people, it's the 11th. But here in Asia, it'll be the 12th. So it's the start of the China server, and it's the start of the season. Now, even though I'm sort of based in China, I'm not going to be running on the China server because it's a standalone server. Like most of the Blizzard servers in China, it's a standalone server. It doesn't connect in with a greater community, and I wish it did, but it doesn't. So unfortunately, I'm still going to have to run a VPN to get to what I'm doing right now in the greater community, which is a bit of a shame. I really would have liked to be able to connect into the China server and then connect into everybody, because my latency, as you see right now, is 147. If I connected in with the China server, that latency would be about 20. So that's the sort of difference a VPN makes. But hopes and dreams. So yeah, so everything is starting on the 12th. That's Thursday for me. I think it's Thursday. Let me just check. No, it'll be Friday. It's Friday the 12th that it'll start for me. So then that means I've got the whole weekend to run, which is good. I I'm going to be running a Druid. It is my first character next season. I'm going to be leveling up using a Storm Druid. I have the planner on Mobilytics. That's what I'll be running. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to transition into. Probably Pulverize, uh, Cataclysm Pulverize, but I'm thinking about instead of Cataclysm, Grizzly Rage. I, I like the idea of Cataclysm. I run a Cataclysm Druids season 7, I think it was, and that was pretty good actually. That was pretty good. That was Cataclysm and Pulverize. Pardon me, because I want to run the Cataclysm with the new boots that gives you ranks to Endless Tempest and ranks to, I think it's Bad Omen. So that should be interesting. But then I'm probably as a second character gonna trans to I'm sort of I haven't run a Spiritborn for quite a long time, since the beginning of the season. Beginning of the Spiritborn, which is a Vessel of Hatred. I haven't run one since then. It's been pretty powerful. But I think that I might run a Sork. So last season, it's this season, season 10, I ran a Sork first and then a Druid. But I think in season 11 I might do it the other way around. I might run a Druid first and then a Sork. I think the Sork might be quite powerful this season. So that's sort of my thoughts on what I'm going to be doing. So for the rest of this season, I'll be, well, as I say, the planner for the leveling build is already up on Mobilytics. I'll leave a link in the comments just below. Below? Well, it's below my computer. So I've got my main screen here, and I've got a little chat box down here on a secondary screen. It's only about yawn big, because this area here is just not big enough to have a dual screen. I wish it was, but it's just not. It's impossible. And then I've got a little iPad sitting here just to make sure that everything in Twitch is up and running, and it seems to be okay. It seems to be reasonably good. I have the sound turned down in that because I don't get an echo. Anyway, I'm nearly finished. Nice. So yeah, that's my thinking. Right, so let's put this melted heart away. What am I going to put it? Maybe I'll put it in here. And it's resource gen. It's not a bad, not a bad melted. And for these, no needed any of these. Now, when I come to the end of this season, I'm probably going to junk everything, because of the changes to in season 11, all of your gear is going to be legacy gear. I'm not sure how it's going to look when it gets shifted across to the Eternal. I don't run Eternal anymore. So I'm thinking I'm just going to junk the stuff eventually. Well, I'll junk the stuff before the season starts, so when the character moves across, it's a sort of like clean character. It's just what I'm wearing, because the rest of the stuff, even though I've got quite a bit, I mean it's full. I mean, you say that's that's a tremendous. It's a 4GA Mjolnir. I'd like to have that next season. But that's all of these are that's disappearing. It is just anything that's seasonal is just gone. Right, so let's take a look at somebody that needs a wee bit of help, maybe. No, nobody there. I tell you what. Let's list a party. I want to do some pits for people in 89 to 99, and not worried about anything like that. See if anybody wants some help. Maybe I'll put an advert up on Diablo Trade. See if there's anybody on Diablo Trade that needs anything. There's okay, we got one here, so okay, let's maybe just run this. Take my medicine. Let's run a couple. $239s. Actually, I might run 89. Maybe try and get a bit better speed. My goal's always a 90-second clear. But I changed my build across to being a little less cannon, and I'm sort of clearing more in the sort of 2-minute mark rather than 90 seconds. There's a solar rally. Depending on how many I'm carrying. If it's only one, it can be about 90. But if the person I'm carrying manages to sort of do a little killing as well, then that's a possible 90 seconds. So this sock is doing quite nicely. Some artillery, we can always love the artillery. We go into the second floor. Ooh, put them on there. You know, even though my cursor I've made this lurid green, I still managed to lose it. It needs to be like about 10 times the size, I think. Because I had it like a neon pink, and I still lost that one as well. Now obviously the best way to run pits is if you can run splits. That's one person goes one way, another person goes another way. This floor sort of annoys me at times. You're getting a lot at the beginning, and then you sort of run out of monsters, and the next sort of set is like 100 miles away. And it sort of slows everything down a wee bit. Just wait until he comes in. Okay, there's one more joining. 298. Oh, two more joining. Okay. Maybe we can get 90 seconds out of this, depending on how they run. There's a couple of places in this that can be split farms, split run, depending on what you want to call it. But it doesn't leave too many options to be able to... There's one of them, so I'll go down this way. Oh no, actually it doesn't... That was a very short one that time. Sometimes that's... You know, the maps are not always exactly the same. This is a good map for split running, because essentially you can go absolutely... Everybody can take a different direction. And there's really no right direction or wrong direction. As long as you're a monster pack, you're good to go. Yeah, this is a better run than the last, just. Still a little slow. I think maybe we should get there, but yeah. Landed, keep away from the poison. I'll do a lot of distant damage, so perfect. Not too shabby. And my latency is pretty good now. We like it. Let's see if I can pull up my mobilytics. My Druid, D-R-U-I-D. Can't spell Druid. Spiders, but sort of always tend to slow me down. Never really get fantastic times when I'm running spiders. Just something that, you know, sort of you notice when your goal is a 90-second clear on any pit level. When you're leveling up, when you're really wanting to level your paragons, you're better doing the highest hit possible in 90 seconds or less. There's no point in running like a pit 105 in sort of 4.5 minutes when you can maybe run a pit 89 in a minute and a half, because you can get 3 89s in the same time as a 105, for example. And what that means is that you're losing out a hell of a lot of XP per hour by running 105s. And I would also say that running 105s is not the right pit level to run, unless you're really wanting to get your glyphs, and then it's fine, you know, because it's maybe just that little bit easier and it doesn't really matter at the time. But if you're looking for XP per hour, regardless of what class you're running, always run sort of keep 90 seconds in mind is a sort of goal, and run whatever pit, highest pit level that you can do to make that true. And you're always better running one below the unit of 5. So instead of running 105, run 104. Instead of running 100, run a 99. Instead of running 95, run a 94, and so on and so on. Because Blizzard puts an extra sort of 20% on every unit of 5 for monster health points, HP. But for XP, there's not a 20% gain. There's a small gain. I can't remember exactly the percentage points. I could probably work it out. I've got all the data that I've run, but it's definitely not 20%. So that's why you'll find a lot of content creators, blasters, they run one below the unit of 5. So just keep in mind. Are the rest of them ready yet? No, let's just run. Two looks like twins there. I never noticed what time that was actually. Yeah, it's a Season 11 is looking to be, in my opinion, a very nice season. It is a season of change, and in any season of change there's going to be some things that sort of are not as good as people expect, but I think the changes that they've made to the sanctification is definitely a positive, because it was way underwhelming before. But now you can even possibly get a mythic power on an ancestral, making it into a mythic. So can you imagine getting the Shroud of False Death on some? I don't know if you could run that on a sword or an armor piece. That would be pretty impressive. Getting a sanctification of 50% value. Not too shabby. Oh, there we go. So I think there's a lot of nice things that have actually happened from the landings in the PTR. That's later almost done. Yeah, below 2 minutes. That's not bad. Not the best. You know, when I was leveling, I was definitely more glass cannon, but getting 90 seconds. But right now, I'm obviously not too worried. But I still would have liked the tempering to keep the tempering to 2 tempers instead of what they're doing is 1. Because it just allows that you to have that little bit more build variety. You can choose a little bit more, maybe, you know. But now you're sort of limited a little bit in the tempering that you can choose. It would have been nicer to be able to choose 2 instead of 1. That's just my take on it. But all the rest of the stuff, I'm feeling quite positive actually. Because when I was running the PTR, I was thinking, oh, I'm not sure I want to run this for season 11. I think maybe I'll give it a miss until sort of season 12. But now, after the changes that have been made, I'm feeling pretty positive about it. Because I think like many people were a little underwhelmed at some of the changes that they made. Okay, there's a nice little bunch down here. See, this floor on this is a second floor is not a bad floor. On a is a first floor is not a bad floor. Is a second floor is a pain in the bum because you get way too many dead ends. You can be running and almost finished, and yet you hit a dead end, and you have to go so far back to kill 2 monsters. And that was that's the annoying thing about that first floor as a second floor. But overall, yeah, I think season 11, even though season 11 is a season to change, I think it's going to be an exciting season. They've said that, you know, you should be able to finish higher pit levels. 5 to 10 pit levels higher. Which will make you getting your glyphs to 100 a little bit easier. So we'll see how that runs. Oh, come on. Just got a few more little beasties to take down. This has been a slow run. Yeah, I'm not even bothering picking anything up now. Get some water. Keep hydrated. Is everybody out? Yeah. In the leveling process, I'll try and run some of these tributes. They say they've reworked the tributes, so they're going to be a lot more rewards. Why did that fail? Why? Who? So it might be a nice way to level up. If you get the rewards, that is. If you get the tributes, I should say. But what I'll be doing, I like to do the season quests to complete that, and then you have to remember your season journey. Well, no, it's rank system. No, it's not really season journey. The rank system. So how it all sort of comes together will be quite interesting. Because now we've got also the capstones to get into the different tier levels rather than what it was in season 10. How it's all going to work out, I'm not quite 100% sure. So this is why I haven't really done a mid-game and end-game yet. Still sort of feeling my way through. Because I don't think anybody really knows all the implications of the changes that's been made. We can only sort of hazard a guess. We can make a good guess. Is it Macrovoivo, if you want to head across to him? He's made a couple of good videos. Okay, he's focused on the Necro, but he made a great video on sort of describing the changes in power levels. Okay, there we go. For weapons, Season 10 versus Season 11. Which I think is really, he does like his numbers. You can sort of disagree with him, but he really does like his numbers. I'll see if I can pull that up and maybe put the link. Where? I think it's this one. Okay, everybody's doing their little thing. Yeah, so that he does actually, I think it's quite a nice little video. It's not a long video, it's just short, sweet, to the point, which is good. I like that. That he explains that sort of what he thinks is going to be the differences between the sort of power levels between Season 10 and Season 11. We're not going to be quite as powerful, but not too far away. Okay, we have one dropout. Let's see if there's one more comes in. Pardon me. No, let's just run. I like this floor. There is one sanctification that you need to pick up as early as you can and purify it as quickly as you can, which means in the hell tides, the maggots gives you bonus orbs. Now in the PTR there was one, I think it was which Hell Spires. Yeah, you run a Hell Spire and the maggots dropped the bonus orbs, and there were, you got about 20 levels in in one sitting, one Hell Spire. It was like, wow. No, you don't get as many as that now. They've changed it. That was a learning from the PVR. But yeah, it's still going to be pretty good though. Maggots dropping. And the other one there was one of the bosses. I can't. You run the boss and you got about 20 levels. They've changed that as well. Bummer. That would have been nice. Easy peasy. Excuse me. Okay, another lower level. It's not a problem. Carry them relatively easy. This is also one of the reasons that I changed away from being a little bit more glass cannon to be a little bit more tanky. Yeah, it takes me a little bit more time, but I don't die. I was dying a few times too many. Some random stuff lying on the ground. Especially the fireballs. You had 2 or 3 fireballs all coming at the same time. Oh, look at this. Triplets. Yeah, that wasn't a great scenario. They can still get me if I'm not paying attention. But mostly I'm fine. This is coming up. I know famous last words. Look at this. The pair of socks are doing the job. Pretty good. It's always nice when people runs with you, as opposed to just being carried. Because here, because I'm joining a group, I'll have a group I'm starting as well. You sort of do expect people to join in. Unless they're very low level characters and you think, no, they should stay at the start. But for the most part, you should be able to join. Contribute. Doesn't matter how big, because the majority of times I'm way out in front of everybody else. So what's happening is they're sort of killing the monsters that are got half health or less. But here the 2 socks are keeping up. It's pretty damn good actually. I don't think we're getting 90 seconds yet, but group of 4, it's okay. And I do stand off because it's damage from distance that I'm doing, whereas the sword they're damage close. Let's see if there's any. A couple of them up here. In these runs there are, okay, I've got maybe a couple of more runs and then I'll go do my trade in my obols for the perfect amulet. I've been trying since day 1 since I moved across to the Druid for a perfect amulet. I just haven't. Doesn't want to drop for me. All 3 of them are falling on. Cool. Do a little bit of a zigzag in and out. The only problem with people following on, if they're like a 240, is that you need to make sure you can stay alive, and because you want to get the maximum lift upgrades that you can. Oh, which reminds me, the glyph upgrades for Season 11. You should be able to get possibly 5, which is the sort of same as it's been before in previous seasons. Right now we're sort of maxed out at 4 potential glyph upgrades, but in Season 11 that might be up to 5. And I'll be well happy with that. Should be able to get to 100 a lot quicker. So this arc is doing a new build there. And I'm still keeping up. So the evade build for the Sork is going to be dependent on the, I think it's the Oculus. I think you're going to have to run the Oculus to be able to get an evade, any sort of perma evade. So it's not that it's gone away completely, it's just the way it runs is different. Oh, looks like I need to take some more medicine. Excuse me. Let's start then. Three Sark. It's me on the keyboard, but there seems to be a little bit of shake. Maybe just me tapping on the keyboard a little bit too much. After this run, I think I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Been running about an hour. Protection is always a good thing. Almost done. Still just never managed to break that 90-second. I think we've been more closer to sort of 2 minutes. As an average, which is not bad. You know, it is a fit 99. There we go. 2 GA gloves. Right, so I think I'm gonna leave the group, do a little cleanup, take a 5-minute break. Oops. Right, let's see if I can get this perfect amulet. Now, what construes a perfect amulet? GA willpower, GA total and venom, then I can roll whatever.
Hello, shiny. Hello, shiny. Hello, shiny.
Doesn't look very promising. Movement speed. And that's the only GA amongst them. What was the gloves? Crit, lucky hit, never mind. Right, I am going to take a little break. I'll see you in 5 minutes or so. Let's just take a break. There we are, back again. So let's see if we can help somebody else. I think these must need Lilith. Well, kind of looks like they've done it themselves. That's okay. It's good. Well done them. Okay, we'll run some the bloodstone. No. I can't sing. People told me to stop singing. You want somebody to go home early from the party? Start singing. Not that way. This way. What's doing? An event? I don't want to do an event. Does he want to do an event? I was just a little worried it was I'm still in normal. Would have done before. Thank you very much. Put the last bloodstone on its pedestal. Nicely done. What was that? Oh, I've forgotten wisdom. Do this first. Okay, so we've got a heraldic gateway. This is worth good property site. Up to a couple of thousand, in fact I think up to 2,500 per run, which is pretty damn good actually. Right, what shall we do? Lunatics? Tethering. These are rubbish. Ritual complete. Come on, where's all the monsters gone? Complete. See, the thing is, you can't do two pillars at the same time. It's a one by one thing. Complete. Down here that we've got. Open. And it should be about where the big. Yeah, there we go. Done. 2GA staff, we'll take a look at that. Probably won't do anything with it, but we'll take a look at it. Oh, this is free the prisoners. Okay. And we go when we find them. Couple of them anyway. There you are. Yeah. I thought I lost the cursor. There you are. There you go. A couple of chaos rifts here. He's coming. I think that's them done. Wander up. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. Ruby Reserve. Kill all. Okay, we have a cursed shrine bank. It's good XP for that. Pardon me. Looks like there's another event. We found another heraldic stronghold. Let's see if we've got two. Let's see there. 21 of these. 22. I think the most I've ever done was like about 35 waves. That's not bad. See which ones we can get this time. I will have the special demon, that's for sure. Ah, the rest of them are not really that fantastic. There's two of them right beside each other, which is nice. Don't have to go too far to get the next one. So we should complete. Let's go down and get this. Oh, that was it. Open the big box. Cool. That was quick. Oh, we got the artifacts. Haven't seen many artifacts yet. Oh, there's another one. Let's pick up this shrine. Shrine? No, not shrine. There's quite a few of these artifacts. It's good. But I think every one of these you get an item. There's one. I'm pretty sure it's not this way, but I'll just give an assist. Oh, we missed that. Ancient statue. Doesn't really pose much of a threat. Let me in, let me in. I can't get in. There we go. I'm glad I could throw stuff through there. Heraldic strong room. Okay, he wants to run an escalation. We can do that. Another strong room in here somewhere.